I'm Yogi Chris, captain of IMC Nation here at Eden House in Las Vegas, the main base for IMC Nation worldwide. Where I live with eight other guys, top IMC guys. This is where all the guys come from around the world to do residency, which is like a retreat. And it's a full-on lifestyle. Like guys have gotten into game or pickup or whatever, and it was a casual hobby. It was a Friday or Thursday, Friday, Saturday night thing, or you know, maybe they bought some course or something where they memorized how to like some lines or something that they could say. And it always falls apart because it's nothing. It has no substance. No, it's not grounded in like their lifestyle. They're just doing something to get ahead, get quick sex or whatnot. And as you go down the path, looking at all of the coaches or mentors, or all the way down from like young guys, like 20s that are on college campuses interviewing girls as their pickup, up to like the OGs, guys that might even be in their 50s, 60s, 70s now. I don't know what the oldest, I don't know how old Ross Jeffries is. Um, and beyond, I mean, there's been players for as long as there's been male-female dynamics, but if you research, I mean, I'm a PhD. I know how to research shit. So if you research like the lineages of all the guys, all the coaches, they all have coaches, or they try to figure something out for themselves. There's a few of those, but you just at some point it's not like a wrestling match or a boxing match where you can say this person beats that guy. That person is better than that guy. It's more of like a subjective ranking system, almost like art or whatever. And obviously in the game, it's a validation thing. It's like, or what is the verification? How hot is the girl? How long has she been with him? How uh, uh, you know the what a lot of guys get fooled with is they're more and more comfortable with the coach, like how he communicates, like he's soft and they get along with the coach, but they're not measuring the results so much. They just assume that because they like the coach that the coach is getting results, or they fell for some marketing funnel or whatever. That's not the point of necessarily this talk, but I'm just saying, like, in the world, if you look at all of the coaches and all the pathways you go down, you'll come to a handful at the top, and you'll see just the difference between AZD and the other top guys. It's like it would be like comparing, I don't know, uh, like whatever the tallest mountain is around you to Mount Everest. You're probably not around like the Himalayas or the Andes or something, but maybe you got like a tall mountain around you. But compared to Everest, it's like it would be if you could put Everest next to it, it would be so dwarfed. You would consider the mountain a hill. And that's really the difference in level. And why that matters, because a lot of guys, they're in their own mating dynamics that married or they're settled with one girl or somehow convincing themselves that they're okay in whatever position they're at. Maybe some of them are. So the main thing that AZD pushes is connection and evolution. He doesn't say it like that, but to connect humanity with itself. We've become disconnected from just the person right next to us. The ability to listen at the deepest levels and be really a receiver for what they're saying, to reciprocate that and circulate the energy. There's so much potential just around you with the people around you. And what AZD demonstrates is that compounding that, really winning the social dynamics in your space just incrementally, whatever's available to you, eventually you're just in a position where you like, man, it's just not real people. Like to be the most high status person in a venue, in a large group of people, not because you think so, not because you walked in with so much money, but because the people are moved when you move. You move left, you see most of the heads move left. You move right, most of the heads move right. And it's like, what are you? Are you like a celebrity or are you the owner? And systematically, time after time after time, we've been out 450 to 500 times with AZD in Las Vegas, and it's just time after time. And it's not always you defeat the venue on the first try. I mean, we go to the biggest strip club in the world. It's a big club, like well established in Las Vegas. It's not easy to establish in a mafia run and all that. It's like, but it's always an improvement. The position improves. Like if you do jujitsu or something, like there's an improvement where you now have better leverage in some way at just time after time after time. And it's not that the whole gambit of the whole spectrum of possibilities has been mapped out in some thick textbook. When this happens, you do this. When this happens, you do that. It's an awareness that automatically calibrates. And in the way that AZD is doing game and teaching game and talking about game now, it's like really, really not even game. It's like not game. And the way we go out, it's not game. Like we don't game like whatever you think it is. But it's so vital because it is the main impetus. Like your motive for the social dynamics is that mating code. And, certain guys may be like, well, I'm satisfied with the one girl. In the right environment, in the right situation, another girl would pull your attention and we'd find you out of character. If she got you your interest, we'd find you out of character. Your character would change when you find a new girl of interest. And that's amazing to me because that's like the monkey body. We have a meat flesh fucking body that has DNA that came from somewhere that, so much of what our bodies do, we're not conscious of. We're conscious of our breathing, our sweating right now, our blinking, our salivating, our urination. Are you in control of who you're attracted to? Have you ever been attracted to a girl, but she's not arousing you? You're just attracted to her. She's hella pretty. And then we go to the clubs a lot. Have you ever been with a girl that's arousing you, but she's not even the prettiest? It's just the way her voice is, the way she leans in and out, something about her energy, her smell, fragrance. Like, but she's not like the prettiest girl you talk to. There's like, are you in control of that? It sounds like the body is doing something, and the more you become aware of it, then you have an awareness that's like separate from the body. But most guys are just living life. It's all entangled, meshed together. Their awareness is their body. And that's the end of the line. So with what AZD's been sharing lately, I mean, so much circling back. AZD, the history of AZD's teaching since I've been around is a story of cyclical rotating through a certain set of topics. Beast, uh, disclosure, cosmic disclosure type alien stuff, Jesus, uh, other spiritual forms. Sometimes it's like mind bending or some kind of spell casting, which is in alignment with like ancient Egypt stuff and Pharaoh. Like those topics are the same family of topics that he'll circle through. Other things also. And now it's through a disclosure phase. But every time it's deeper, he's like screwing it in. It's not just circling back, it's getting deeper into the subject. And a whole veil has been lifted where we are examining the social dynamics from not being entangled in it and yet entangling in it. It's like when I go to jujitsu, because of my wrestling training, I'm very standoffish. And I don't like it about my jujitsu, but I also don't want to get injured. I've been injured too many times. So like I'm inching my way into the entanglement where it's like arms and legs are entangled and it's like, I don't want to get foot locked or fucking some weird lock that I'm not anticipating that the guy goes too hard or I jerk away from it and hurt my wrist because I just didn't see that coming because I'm not familiar with it. They're treating me better than I am because I have wrestling skills, but I don't have submission skills like that. So I can like pummel them and smash them. But like when it comes to like tap them out or break a joint or something, that's not in my training. And so I'm very standoffish about it. I don't get entangled. But if you could get entangled in it and keep your composure, some separation of identity that you're not that. You're like watching the bodies wrestle, you're watching the bodies game, you're watching the bodies jujitsu, and you're not detached from it in the sense that you're not feeling it or you don't have remorse for the other person. Like you're in your body senses. It's like patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same time. My body is doing this dance, the chimpanzee dance, and I have awareness out of it. And anytime you can put your awareness out of like your experience, it changes your experience. Like if you saw yourself right now from above yourself, looking down on yourself, you might change your posture. If you saw yourself from the left side of you or from behind you 6 feet, and you could scan your body up and down, like you're still feeling your body, you're breathing and everything, but doesn't things change? Will joints, bone, like become more aware of it? Face, you could see your face from outside. Like so, if you're in game, that's the thing. The pretty girl, the multiple pretty girls. You could be talking to two, three girls, five girls, six girls at the same time. And it's like, whoa, the rush of these are all attractive girls giving me attention and they're all paying attention. They may even be talking with amongst each other, but every movement you make, they register. Hand flick, toe tap, tight breath, tension, just in general. And so it's like, do you just focus on your body and relaxing, or can you see what's happening from outside of you? And that's clever. Like, again, if you look at all the pickup lineages, some of them are clever, more or less clever. But one of them made it all the way to the tip of the mountain where the mating code has been overcome, where the girls you're with are increasingly getting better and better, and they're grooming new girls for entering the family, and they get better and better. And there's so much proof and evidence and love and femininity circulating around in a constant, predictable orbit that's in perfect harmony with itself that a new kind of energy is able to be expressed and experienced and witnessed by the outside. A kind of masculinity that it's like a one of those Jewish things that you spin or whatever. Like it's balanced. It's like balancing a basketball on your finger. It's found, but in physics, man, I don't want to. Anyway, I'll just say it. Whatever. There's three kinds of equilibriums in classical physics. There's the equilibrium where it's like it's stable on a flat surface and you can move it and it's stable in that new flat surface. It doesn't move after you stop moving it. And it just, you move and it just stays where it is. There's another kind of equilibrium where it's like balancing like this and it's balanced, but if it moves, then it crashes. But it's balanced, it's in equilibrium. And then the other kind of equilibrium where it's like hanging. So you move it and it returns to where it was. You move it and it returns. So one kind moves and it stays, one kind moves and it falls, one kind moves and it returns. And AZD's got a unique kind of equilibrium with all of the forces of the female around him that it's so chaotic. There's so much energy and the women are not in chaos because I've seen other players that they just explode out of orbit because they get a few women, but the chaos is really they don't have any containment of it. Versus AZD's got this nuclear explosion going where he's got magnetic reflectors that are containing the energies and it's able to yield a lot more output because you contain a nuclear explosion. Remember, you know those bombs like Hiroshima or whatever? Contain that with magnets because it's a bunch of photons moving at high energy in just uh, a chain reaction, basically. So it just never stops until it disperses so much that it's not dense enough that like the molecules aren't close enough. They can't hit each other once it disperses. But if you could contain it, but now what do you contain it with like a bunch of asphalt and concrete or shit? No, magnets. Magnets contain electromagnetism of immense proportion. And if you could contain a nuclear explosion, imagine them firing that as a weapon or a laser or some shit. So if he's got an arrangement through philosophy, the words and ideas exchanged, and agreements that his girls and him come to, the relationship, those agreements, that energy is being contained in a way that it's not just being dispersed like guys that get multiple girls, and it's not being held at a low power level like guys that can do like a little toy electric generator or a little stove burner or a coal fire, little coal fire plant. That's nothing compared to a nuclear explosion. And it's a whole new form of energy, which is always there. It's in little amounts with everybody, but it's latent. And I'm so fascinated by the energy dynamics, and that's what we're multidimensional beings, everybody. We are seeing the chimpanzee game, then the human matrix of consumerism and mass mind control and the history of Earth and the media and Christianity and Islam and all the religions. It's the code of the mind. Like we've been filled with ideas and indoctrinated into seeing the world a certain way, but it might not be that way. Have you ever seen something and you thought it was uh let's say you thought that was a Toyota that drove by. A shitty example, but it'll demonstrate the point. A Toyota is like, was that a Toyota? And your friend's like, no, that was a Chrysler or something. And you're like, oh, it was a Chrysler. And you took their word for it and you totally changed your mind. Like, uh, let's say, is well, I had a great example of it earlier, but it's like based on somebody what they say, you change your mind about what's the better choice or what's the better movie or what is what was more fun activity, what was a taller mountain or better mountain to walk up or whatever. I don't know. Favorite yoga teacher, something like that. You're like, that's my favorite yoga teacher. They're like, that's my favorite. Oh yeah, actually that is somebody entered some words that changed your mind. So we may see an alien spacecraft as a kid, or we may see the fucking abominable snowman or the boogeyman or something. We see something, and no, it's not that. And we just take on that other opinion as a kid, and then we stop seeing it. And anytime we may see it, it's so automatic. It's so deep in there. Just like your early body movements. You talked yourself into walking. You talked yourself into writing. You were talking to yourself to try to figure it out. and but you don't remember what you're saying to yourself, and yet you retain a lot of the same handwriting. You're actually giving yourself the same commands. It's just way deep buried in there and so silent. It's been repeated tens of thousands of times. You don't really need to say it again, but it's there. And so if you've canceled what you're seeing because of words that someone else said to you, well, that's some shit. A whole reality may be veiled from you because of education and all of this and that, especially about men and women. Man, that's so huge in it because so your energy is latent. That nuclear energy is latent in you. If you're not able to express the natural energies that come up in you when you're attracted to a woman, that attraction is just an energy source there. And what we see and learn in field, what I learn in field, is there's a way to nurture that that brings deeper levels of fulfillment time and time again. Man, to be able to create attraction and comfort, a loving trust with a stranger that you're attracted to, and then they're attracted to you. And over and over and over again, there's so much good feelings there, but the circuitry has to become clean inside, clean and clear. Because weird behaviors will come out when energy surges through the body. That's why, like, people on drugs will do crazy shit. They have that craziness in. I mean, there are some really mind warping drugs, but a lot of stimulants and things like that just stimulate what's already there. It's like you give a lot of money to somebody and you see their character. You give the championship to somebody, you give a victory to somebody that didn't earn it, and they'll misuse it because they don't have the software that creates the behaviors that earns that. And if they did, then they'll have the integrity to hold that power. So the power, the energy of a male female attraction with multiple people is a lot of energy and love that goes through the system. And so, we're in the process of cleaning that out because we inherited a whole history and DNA that has a software for these interactions, but then we have access to higher wisdom. Game, somebody that came along like Mystery and put an algorithm on how the chimpanzees mate in a way that the woman goes for higher value guy, and how does a guy, any old guy, communicate higher value from whatever he's doing in life. He could be higher value over any woman if he could demonstrate that other women like him and he has healthy emotions through wit and laughter and carefreeness and all these things. Other men want to be aligned with him, and you can hack all of these things. Protector of loved ones through stories and gestures and things like that. Successful risk taker, which is a lot of storytelling. I mean, you can take a risk in the moment, but then that's real value. And how to milk these moments so that you leverage moments. It's just amazing. It's a whole mental matrix that's connected and plugged into the DNA matrix because mental perception can affect DNA attraction. But it's a perception. Mental perception could turn a person off. But it's like that was a mental experience that then turned off the DNA. And then there's just higher levels of wisdom that if you follow that line all the way up the mountain, you'll get to some really disturbing truths about humanity and Earth and how it's suppressed and how it's run and how people came about and what's going on with the whole system, more than just having a meta perspective on yourself, looking above yourself or behind yourself and seeing yourself. When you really, really zoom out in time and space and you see the suppression on humanity and the suppression on you as a man, man, I mean, to see it is to really, you won't agree with it once you see it. And if you're okay with it, then I don't think you really see the depth of it and what it's doing to your personality. You're living through someone else's ideas installed in you. And that fucking pisses me off, man. If somebody were like moving your arms and legs around for you and you didn't have autonomy of it, but like, where do our emotional reactions come from? Why do we lose character when we're talking to a pretty girl? Who hijacked my system? I know what's right, but my body's doing it wrong. Like, maybe you get in an argument or something, you see yourself getting angry, you're like, some level of knows like you're being emotional, and yet you're still saying dumb shit. Why is the chimpanzee running this shit? Am I just somewhere intermediary in my evolution between like a chimpanzee that has no control and a fucking god level version of my higher self that, has absolute control? And is control through like forcing it, like I hold my body in control, or is it control through alignment? That I just reorganize my behaviors so that I'm in alignment with the highest survival, the most life-giving, energy-giving behaviors that alchemizes any negativity and dumb shit that people do or say around me into positive, into growth, into evolution. That's the prestige, hear me, the prestige of living with 8 other IMC guys. That's not easy. you couldn't do it if you're not doing it. I guarantee you couldn't live with a bunch of other guys. You couldn't find the guys to align with and have the orderliness, the hierarchy, the access to resources, just everything that it takes to make it happen. You couldn't do it with three guys. You couldn't do it with one guy. Good luck. How long before you shut down, lock yourselves away in your rooms, not even communicate with each other for over a week? Where's that guy? I don't know. Let's text him. Where are you at? Oh, you took a trip? Shit. And that's the best case, man. They probably argue themselves apart because guys are like girls. The accountability and presence you have to live at an IMC base just consistently is such a character calibration that you would never get. Go chase every pickup coach everywhere forever. And you'll never have to live in a residency situation outside of maybe a couple of times. Like some of the top coaches will rent a mansion. You could go stay there for a lot of money. And that's the end of that. Be on your best behavior. They'll be on their best behavior. You won't even really be around them. It's fake. You're on vacation. They're on vacation. You're not going to their house like I did with AZD where we lived with each other. You're renting a mansion somewhere away from everywhere where you live, your habits and everything. You're on vacation. And that's the best that the best coaches can do. But of course, the best results are a bunch of girls that they can't even demonstrate that they have. That's it. Basically, that's the best of them. It's ridiculous. Okay, I feel like I rambled. Rock, I appreciate you being on, man. And if you have something you want to say, guys online, if you're on, just go ahead and Aaron, what's up? Yeah, just request to go live. If not, I could keep going, man. I'll go for probably 15 more minutes.
Yeah, I just want to say that this is like a perfect summary of what goes on in this whole movement. And it's basically the tip of the iceberg. So it goes so much deeper. But with these videos that you make, people get an idea of what's going on, right? But it's much more deeper than that.
For sure. It's amazing. It's amazing when we go in field because you're gonna feel some artificial pressure. Artificial. What would be real pressure? Let's get in a jiu-jitsu match and put a chokehold, and you're gonna feel some pressure on your neck. But then you go around a bunch of pretty girls and a whole social venue, loud music, competitors, teammates, haters, uh, whatever, and you start feeling that pressure on your throat. What that artificial, mentally induced pressure has to be conquered from the most subtle levels to the highest pressure levels where you're on stage in front of 10,000 people and you're about to give a speech. Man, and that's just so exciting for me to go like in field has become so exciting. It's amazing, guys. If you knew where I was when I got into game with my fucking ponytail and my unibrow and my terminal length beard and my BO and my incredible yoga poses and my PhD nerdiness that I'm like science and this and that and just social awkwardness. And to go from that place, being on a campus of 50,000 undergraduates, tons of sorority houses, all sorts of shit, and not even knowing how to interact at all, using Uber to try to talk to girls. When Uber first came out, like where I was going to salsa, swing dancing to meet girls, teaching yoga to meet girls, getting into acro yoga to meet girls. Yeah. And then being nervous as a lone wolf out there in bigger crowds. Then being around the IMC guys and not knowing how to game around guys that you care how they see you, how they view you, and you're watching them. Everybody's watching each other. And it's like, now what? I don't want this. You want to come and just get some skills and then go off and do your own thing. That's what a lot of guys in the past would do. But they fail because the social dynamics here is built on tribe. Tribe will get you better women, longer lasting relationships than being a lone wolf. Because if you can acknowledge that women need safety and security, then wouldn't she be safer and secure with a man who has 10 friends than a man who has none? I've had to call on my friends for danger with my girl once. What if I didn't have, like, okay, so you have friends. Okay, so a team starts with that. And then are you in a team that you're just going to turn your back on and go and get married and move away from your team? Are you just in your team long enough until, like girls, girls are friends with other girls until they get married, then they stop being friends with their girls. And then when they're not married anymore, they go back to their girls' friends, their slut friends. And guys will do that too. You'll see that the longer you're in IMC, you'll see a guy leaves with a girl, 2 years later, 5 years later, they break up, they come back. It's like, bro, you're just gonna do it again because you're in that lone wolf marriage strategy. The woman isn't your tribe, she's your woman. Tribe is among guys. But man, that's a whole polarizing concept for the world that is educated that men and women are equal and equal this and equal that, equal every which way. Oh yeah, they're unequal that men are on average an inch taller than women and women on average live 2 years longer than men, but they're equal. Like, and you don't see how ingrained that is until you start acting on the inequalities. Not just seeing the inequalities or talking about it, but acting on them. Like she's not to act like you. You're not to act like her. You're not to argue, bicker, get emotional. Like all you, and then those are great ideas, but now live around other guys. We're 24/7. You can't be dark, can't be emotional. Like you take space at times, but it's not a persistent condition. And those are character calibrations that any amount of game that you ever learn, any girl you get, if you don't have that, you're going to lose the girl because you're not consistent 24/7. You're good. Whatever girl you get when you're performing at your best, you're not going to be able to hold when you're just going through little hiccups in life because your hiccups are just like, devastating. Okay. Man, I am inspired about going out tonight. I love plugging in. I love pinging my frequency off of the environment. 150 people there and another 150 that'll cycle through, and my own teammates eating some good pizza. Can't wait to have some of that pizza tonight. Man, smoking my weed and just chilling. And the pretty girls that are going to come up and the interactions that we're going to have, the friendliness, the warmth, the teasing, the man, I was a Boy Scout. It's fun for me to take some flint and spark a fire and get the fucking little kindlings and build a little thing and then have a little thing and then build it. And all of a sudden you have a fucking roaring fire in like 45 minutes. It's fun to spark it. It's fun to hunt for the right moss. It's fun to go out in field and not know what's going to be there and know that whatever you come across, you're going to be able to spark something that at the very least it may go out, but you can carry it and to light the next thing. And then you can carry it to light the next thing and then light the next thing. And by the end, what kind of fire can you get? Maybe it's wet outside, maybe it's dry, maybe there's no kindle, but can you do something? Survivor Man, the game of social dynamics that makes you present and witty and creative and learn about yourself. And if you can retain an externalized view of yourself while you're doing it, so that you're constantly in this adjustment mode that's aligning to the energies and what it should be, you have a higher self and a higher wisdom. Man, that's what we do, and we explore that at the highest level. Man, I wish I was better at conveying this thing. I gotta get practice at conveying this thing. Man, we got Anatoly. What's up, man? Where are you from, bro?
Oh shit, my bad. I didn't see my mic on, or unless you turned it on. Did you?
I didn't. I just called on you, and you
Oh,
commented right as I was calling on you. It just all happened at the same time.
oh shit. Hey man, I'm from Georgia, USA. Well, what
Yes,
about you?
sir. Born in Oklahoma, raised in Maryland, and spent a lot of time different places. Got my PhD in
Okay,
Florida, live in Las Vegas right now.
nice, nice. That's what's up.
Yes, sir. Where you come from the Telegram groups, I assume?
Yeah, yeah. Telegram groups. Yeah, yeah.
Man, is there anything I'm saying that heavily resonates or sticks out in your mind or that you got a question or comment about?
Yeah, man. I just really fuck with the whole idea of like living with other men who go after game and women and just help each other better themselves. Like I like how you said when you're with other men, you can't really be like emotional like that. It's just a different environment, different space.
Have you been part of a team before?
Not like living in person, no.
Yeah, I get that, but like, a sports team. Aaron, I see you're on. I'll get with you in just a second, brother. You're like, have you been part of any kind of like winning team or a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
successful
I grew up
group?
playing yeah, I grew up playing very competitive travel soccer growing up, like most of my
Yeah.
life until I fractured my back. But yeah, for sure.
Damn. The
Yeah.
fuck? Did you do that playing soccer?
Hell yeah.
Fuck. How you doing? You all right? You like walk fine and
Yeah,
everything?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm really studying functional patterns. Have you ever heard of functional patterns?
I love that shit. I was a yoga teacher for years, and they still call me Yogi. So
Oh
yeah,
no, I'm talking about like the company functional patterns. Have you heard of
yeah, yeah,
those?
yeah. I mean, that's one of there's a few schools of things that are so interesting that I never got deep into, but I saved a bunch of videos.
Yeah,
And the
yeah, yeah.
functional pattern movement, I've known a bunch of guys that go deep into their certifications and stuff.
Yeah. Facts. I put my boy on, and he went deep into certification. But yeah, Naughty Aguilar, the CEO and stuff, he's out in Vegas, and yeah,
Nice.
and that's like another reason why I want to come out to Vegas, not only to
Yeah.
be around y'all, but also to be around that as well. Because I don't know if you remember, but we texted, and I was telling you how I want to come out to Vegas and stuff with y'all.
Yeah, it'd be dope. Man,
Yeah,
come
yeah,
sooner than later for sure.
yeah.
Now, definitely dedicate chop. I say this to guys because I see guys that try to multitask and whatever. So if you're coming out to study with that other guy, like have that time, have the time that you want to train with AZD, have that segmented out. Those days are just for like IMC training. If you try to
Yeah,
spread
for
yourself thin,
sure.
it's going to be chaos because AZD shit goes deep, man. Have you ever been on any of his classes?
I've never been on any of his classes, but like I would say I religiously studied his YouTube free content when it was out, when before he deleted it.
Yeah. Okay, well, it's time to catch up with the new TikToks that I've posted so you get his demeanor and everything. Man, he gets
Okay.
people to disclose the craziest shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so check
Yeah,
out
yeah.
Rosh D Bazaar YouTube. I post those. I just scheduled another one to release tomorrow morning. It's sick. Dude, I
Oh,
mean, there'll
okay.
be
So
like
he,
murder mysteries and shit. Dude, people are just talking about the craziest shit that they experienced, like their daughter died or a
damn.
UFO or some cancer
Yeah,
overcoming or
yeah.
something.
Oh, so you post his videos on YouTube then?
Yeah, because well, I do some of them. I mean, he does also, but I have access to his YouTube because I've been running his advanced stuff for about 6 years. I found
Right.
him while I was a PhD student 10 years ago in Florida and studied his stuff for about a year and a half while I finished my degree. Then, through his
Hmm.
encouragement, I built a yoga business basically that I branded called Ninth Limb Yoga. I traveled the US for about 3.5 years teaching yoga city to city. Then COVID
Right.
happened. I was studying with AZD that whole time, all of his programs, everything I could. I would just make money and spend it on his shit. And
Right.
then when COVID happened, I lived in Houston a couple months, decided to drive to San Jose, found a
Hmm.
house, him and some of the other top students. We all moved together. That started a whole new era of accountability, whatever. That's where the base operation started. Beast process came out as like a whole template for how to live in your morning routine to have a player's lifestyle like AZD. A lot of emotional
Right.
control, character,
Right.
like
Right.
insight, etc. And then that happened. That expanded for about 3.5 years. And then a year and a half ago, we moved here to Vegas. All the guys, different houses. We moved here. Some guys didn't make the cut because it's very, very disciplined. It's difficult to keep up with AZD. It costs money. It costs a lot of energy, and you got to be
Right.
on your shit because if you tank, like you got to go off and do your own thing. Like emotions are a real thing, man. Demons are real. Like, what do you think about that? And Aaron, I'll get to you in a quick second, man. So if you want to chime in on any of this stuff after I talk with Anatoly, like feel free to answer anything that I'm talking with him about. But it's difficult when it's on multiple platforms, and that's just what I do. But I'll hand it over here when we finish up this conversation here. I'll let Rock also chime in if you have anything to say, Anatoly. Uh, what do you think about demons, angels, aliens, Illuminati? When I say those four things, anything ring
Yeah,
true?
yeah.
And Atlantis. If I say Atlantis,
Oh,
anything
hell
there
yeah. Hell
resonate?
yeah. Yeah, definitely. So, I'll start with Illuminati then. Well, first off, the Illuminati, to me, yeah, they do, like, I would say they do, like, some of them do call themselves Illuminati, but I would say it's just more so, like, just higher degree, like Freemasons and the Freemasonry Brotherhood. Yeah, and they get into, like, as you know, probably, in their sermons and shit, they have all three Bibles. They have the Bible, the Torah, and the Quran. um and yeah, they begin to just deep shit. The higher the degree you are, the different stuff you're let into and shit like that. And basically, like, their whole premise is, as a quote unquote secret society, is to basically, they believe, which I personally believe too, honestly. I believe that not the masses should not know certain things, and that's just what they believe, and I'm not saying that the masses should not know, like, like all these hidden things. I believe a lot of hidden things should be told to them, but in my opinion, certain people, if they're told certain shit, they're just not going to be able to handle it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we need to raise the consciousness of people because babying each other is just a liability, man. The good and evil exists, and we're gonna need to protect this planet at some point in the future. We can't afford
Right.
to just like baby each other and be like they can't handle it. We gotta educate them. I just
Okay.
sent you a video, man. This began the education. Rock, feel free to watch it if you hadn't. It's called Fall Cabal. It looks like the playlist is out of order, so look at the titles and try to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Right. I
And
got you.
have you seen it?
Nah, 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 nah.
Fuck, dude. The education of AZD, it was a whole new era after Fall Cabal. I'm not saying everything in it is true, but it's fucking amazing, bro. And so much of what AZD started a whole MAPS movement, men against pedophiles. And it was a
Hell yeah.
whole thing that he created his shirt and like it had to do with human trafficking. He has and had girlfriends that had a lot. There's a lot of disclosure. AZD is the kind of guy that a lot of people disclose shit to from all areas, from
Right.
military, from prison, from gangs and drug and prostitute. Like so much
Yeah.
disclosure because he just opens people up in his communication. He's very uh man, he's very intimidating and then immediately the most opposite of intimidating. And that
Right.
freedom allow the person just feels safe to just say, like, hey, I gotta tell somebody this. And
Right.
so this video was started the beast movement, and it's about 3 hours of documentary, but it's going to
Is
be
it free?
difficult to condense the education. You got to understand, AZD is a guy with 7 girlfriends, super fine, all know of each other. 3 of his girlfriends been with him over 10 years. That means there's also new girlfriends. And in that time of his main girlfriend's been with him 19 years, he's had like 60 girlfriends, 60. And they're all fine. And they all knew about each other. And it's just the lifestyle. And
Right.
he's propelling forward. He keeps evolving. And we've been learning from him for however long. So it's very difficult to condense the education. I try to pick out pieces. And just based on how this
Okay.
conversation went, and you're at the free level right now. So I just want you to see this and know that we are the force of good in this video. If you just check
For
out like
sure.
5, 10 minutes and then, we can move on. I
Okay.
got tons of
Is it
content
yeah,
I
is
want
it
to share
free?
with you. Yeah, it's YouTube.
All right, cool, cool. Yeah, I'll text you after this and I'll get those links and stuff. But
Yeah, I just posted it on the Zoom here. So if you just copy and save it.
oh, okay, okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, and yeah, and I'd like to get into your other questions like Atlantis. So like have
Mhm.
you heard of that it's some believe it went underwater, but then there's this picture or there's this place actually. I think it's in the Sahara Desert, in Africa somewhere, and it's like a bunch of circles, it's like a circle and then
Yeah,
a circle
man.
around the
Cool.
circle. I
I
forget what it's
don't know
called.
the solution of Atlantis. I've heard a lot of things, but the fact that you're open-minded to it, I mean, I'm telling you, AZD's level of game is built on these understandings.
Right.
He'll tell you what he knows about it, and I know what I think I know about it. It's not entirely relevant, but it's all an interwoven story. So if those things, what do you think about demons?
So what do I think about demons?
Are they real?
Um, yeah, no, definitely, but not as the church like really
Got it.
describes them.
There you go, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Then you have the mental capacity, I think, to learn from AZD because you got to understand those are just like litmus test
Yeah, for sure. No,
questions.
I know I do, to be
Hell
real,
yeah.
I know I do. Yeah, yeah.
Man, this is superpower shit. Get on
Yeah, for
board, man. This is entertainment, what I just sent you, even though it's really dark and heavy. But when you're ready for
yeah.
deeper stuff, I got unlisted videos or whatever. So check this out. Let me know what you think of it. And then I got some like unlisted YouTube AZD videos that you need to see.
Cool. Cool, cool. So yeah, I got one last question then.
Yeah.
You previously just stated that a lot of men out there can't keep up with the discipline when it comes to keeping up with AZD, and one of those
Yeah.
reasons you said regards money. And so my question is like, if I were to really come out of Vegas out there, like how much does it will I have to be paying AZD every like month?
Well, living here, I mean, it's different arrangements. So, like, if you just come here to train, those have training fees, whatever the residency cost is. To live in Vegas, there's going to be certain expenses depending on like where you live. Do you have your own place? Do you share a room? Do you share a house? Are you in the base? That also influences utilities, whatever. As
How
far
much is
as
the base?
huh?
How much is the base?
Well, right now it's you have to be a high level guy to get in because space is super limited. We're literally down to the very last cot. The very last. We have 4 guys that don't live in a room, but they have very designated spaces. We live extremely clean, like a military barracks, but we
Right, right.
have one space remaining. Actually, we have 5 guys that are in a, we have 10 guys here. And I forgot about Pyro. So, to be at that level, is to be a messenger. And to be a messenger is a tall order. Like this is I'm a guy that's invested a lot of money in my PhD, in my wrestling, in my yoga. Like this is game is life. Like we're talking a college education when it comes to being a messenger. So
For
before
sure.
that, it's just residency, which is visiting. We got linens, we share
Okay.
bathroom, we share kitchen, we have protocols
Okay.
for, and we have guys that'll guide you into it. And like it's very easy once it's just learning how to live like in a compound.
Yeah, I
And
got you.
and then if you
Yeah.
were going to move here to Vegas, have your own place. Now at the same time, the lease ends here at the end of January, so in 2 months, and we're getting two houses, so we're splitting
Cool.
that, and we're actually getting three, but two for the guys or whatever. So there'll be more spaces available depending on how involved you are. Then for training fees with AZD, things are changing with the business, but you do pay for daily classes, you pay for intermediate classes, and you pay to go out with AZD. Those are three different levels of payments, and you'll be spending, depending upwards of 1,000, 2,000, or more a month. And
Okay.
for going out fees,
Perfect.
like you're also going to need to be able to share the bottle. We get half off discounts everywhere we go, but four or five guys go, and the bottle's this amount, and we don't not tip. We are generous. We get
Yeah,
discounts.
perfect. Perfect.
And
Perfect. Perfect.
so there becomes a nightly fee. It racks up, but I would say if you're not able to make 4 grand a month with whatever occupation you do, you're gonna have a hard time keeping up.
Yeah, that to be honest, that's gonna be fairly easy. I day trade. I've been day trading for the past five
There you
years.
go.
So
So now if you want to keep up at the highest levels, be involved in everything, not missing
right,
anything,
right.
and going out every time he goes out, etc., then you're probably going to be wanting more like 7 to 7.5K a month. And that's
Cool.
going to
Perfect.
be minimum for
Easy.
everything. Living
Easy.
tight, but you're participating in everything and enjoying everything, and you're in it like 30
Got
days
you.
a
Got you.
week or 30 days a month.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, yeah, thank you so much for that. That answers my question. And I just want to say, like, I definitely know that I'm a messenger. And I started posting TikToks back in 2019, end of 2019. I ended up blowing up on there, posting a bunch of spiritual content in 2020. I have over like 200,000 followers on TikTok. So, I would love to join the movement, become a messenger, and really just support AZD, and spread the
Let's
word.
talk, man. Send me so that I have your Telegram. Just send me, or I'll type my number
I have
right
your
here.
number. I have your number
Got my
already.
number. Shoot me a text, man. I'm about to tap in. After this, I'm going to talk with Aaron. He's been waiting patiently. Talk with Rock also. Last words.
Cool, cool.
This was great. I appreciate you coming on. And then I'll be
Yeah,
tapping in and getting ready to go out with AZD. But we could talk tomorrow, maybe.
yeah, for sure. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Bye.
Salute, brother. Oh, all right, Aaron. What's up, man? Appreciate you being paid. Aaron, real quick. Forgive me. Rock, you have anything you want to say on any of that?
Well, he already left, but yeah, he sounds like a
He's
smart
still there.
person.
He's just
You sound like an intelligent person. Your communication's bright. It seems like you are ready to maneuver through this matrix, and yeah, man, you sound great.
that's
Uh,
cool.
this whole movement is very special because you get mirrors all around you. You get the tribe around you. They get to reflect what they see. You get AZD. And it basically helps you maneuver your ego, right? So you'll never fully get rid of the ego because it's something we have, it's something we use, but you learn how to make friends with it. And that's extremely important. It reminds me of like Cesar Milan, where he has those dogs that are super fucked up and he gets some with dogs that know how to behave well. And then all of a sudden the dog starts behaving well. Also, this movement basically collapses time for you in the terms of like, so when
Basically,
Toyota, the dude that made Toyota, he didn't go and make his own engine. He got the blueprints from Ford and he made a better car through what he had already, Ford had already done. So we're basically doing the same thing. ACD has a spaceship and we're trying to get what he has, which is the relationships and the multiple girls. And if you do it on your own, it's like trying to build a new engine by yourself. So you already have the blueprint and you advance much more. Anybody that's done anything in life, they've had mentors, coaches, um, things like that.
is dope. Right on, Vic. That was dope. All right. Do you have
Thank you.
anything you
Thank you.
want to say
Thank you.
back to that Anatoly before I go over to Aaron?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Rock. I appreciate your kind words, and that's all. Thank you.
Respect. Okay, Aaron, thanks for being so patient, man. What's going on? Where are you calling from?
From Saratoga Springs, New York.
Hell yeah, Saratoga. Honestly, I always like that name. I know it's native. Saratoga. What's going on, man? How's life in Saratoga? Is it cold as fuck there? Eh,
I'm outside. I'm in my car warming up. I've had multiple had a couple drinks, but I've never gone live. And I've been watching your thing for a while. I've been on here, and I just resonate with this whole idea of you lost in the sauce and finding someone that you could relate with and to learn from, because I found that about 10 years ago with a friend of mine, and it's gone deep, and I just shut up along the way and learned it all, and continuously learning. Let me ask you a question. How did you get into the whole thing? You said 6 years ago, you know, you kind of got in and related, but you were lost in the game, and tell me about your refining of your skills along the way.
Yeah, it was really I went to Italy. I'm 39 now. So at 27, I was pursuing a PhD and I went to Italy for some physics or whatever. And I got real like I had basically, man, I was a college wrestler that went really far in D1. And when I kind of had a falling out with that, I got real heavily into drugs. How I got out of drugs for about 2 years, I was just like on a bender, is I found yoga and a girl, and like I kind of cleaned myself up. While I was coming out of that, I was pursuing a PhD. While that happened, I go to Italy. Now I hella detox off of everything. I'm just practicing yoga and doing my schoolwork, etc., publishing and shit like that. I discover I'd had a really bad relationship, but like every guy does, older woman, whatever, when I was like 23 or something. And it was when I was using drugs or whatever. It was all in my head. So while I'm in Italy, I'm like hella attracted to these girls. I'm talking with them, but like I can tell that it's just I don't know what I'm doing and that I'm losing attraction. I didn't know the language at the time to even describe that, but I would just see it fizzle. And it was so disappointing. And I'd be on YouTube searching, searching, searching. So I found like game pickups after a long search of looking through all kinds of psychology and just all kinds of shit. I looked at everything at the time. And I came across AZD and it was cool, but I really went another way with more famous individuals in the game, like Neil Strauss and Mystery and whatever. And so I researched that stuff for like a year. I signed up for some programs. YouTube or Facebook sends me back around to AZD. And so I'm watching his shit, and it resonated on such a level with how he talked about lineage, how he talked about jujitsu and the analogies he had. He just had such powerful metaphors and analogies continuously. And then, of course, you see so many of the pretty girls in the background and on his videos, and you could tell the difference that it was like such a rapport and a love and a real relationship versus other coaches that would have girls as like demo models or things like that. It was not a real relationship there. It was a transactional thing. And yeah,
Do you feel that the women and the girls and all this stuff is just the thing that happens at the end, and the actual only real build up is the just self understanding that we have along the way, and the building of who we are as individuals, and at the end of that, knowing who we really are, the girls just come in the end?
I think that there is no end. And so the illusion is that there's an end. There's no end to the learning. I think that the game doesn't give you the results at the end. I think the game gives you results continuously each moment of the path. And whatever results you're at right now with game is the end of your personal development up until now. You got to go further.
Yeah. Understanding the process.
Nice.
The girls, I can get the girls. I can get the girls whenever I want. Okay.
Do you have a relationship right now?
I see multiple chicks along the way, but
But no, like, do you want a relationship or you just want to see girls? But you don't want a relationship?
I don't think businesses and stuff right now. So like I'm not into I'm not trying to find a relationship right now.
Right.
Like I get off on more of the understanding of like the game and the process of the connection with the learning, and I realize that like as my learning increases, like the women just come.
Right. Well, then it's a big understanding in the community of game that the game of relationships is so different from the game of just sleeping around or getting girls or having girls in distant orbit. That's why AZD has multiple relationships. He has 8, 10, or 7 tens now. I broke up with one, but 7 tens now for many years because relationships is ultimately what a woman is seeking. And if you're not able to provide that because you're pursuing business or something like that, there's just a level of connection that is lacking because the woman will mold herself to your needs. She doesn't have to take away from your business. Sure. Okay, are they exclusive with you? If you don't mind sharing, I mean, this is on a stream.
Chicks right now that I see that are exclusive to me.
Right on.
I wanted to jump on. I've been
Yeah.
waiting and watching for
Right
so
on.
long. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Introduce them as like, yo, this is my girl, because I guess that's not my thing.
So do you claim possession of them?
I don't know. I guess I don't know what the possession is. Like, they possess me.
Ooh. Well, then that's a big difference. Can a man, that's interesting. Why would you say that? What makes you perceive that you are possessed by them?
Because of the information and the knowledge that I've disclosed to them and the information that has kept them around. I don't claim anybody.
But
I don't
they claim you? Like they
Yes.
It's interesting. I mean, if you take those words literally, then can you see there's multiple definitions for possession, but that the girls possess or own you in some way.
Possess and own
Oh.
me like that.
Okay.
They are going around. They want to be associated. They
Okay.
want to be with, with me.
Got it. Yeah. They're stuck in your gravity. They're orbiting you.
Yes. Yes.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. So, yeah, I think at the end of the day, life wants relationships. It wants the kind of dynamic between men and women. Not that you're going to have kids, but that would yield kids. And so, if you're not claiming ownership of the woman, then you're not going to protect her the same way you would if you did claim ownership of it. And so, life is less protected by you being less possessive of the womb that you're taking care of, that when she's around you.
Doesn't know a few people. Can you claim 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 people at a time? Like, can you? Is that a thing?
It's an agreement because you're not actually like shackling them. So it's an agreement to be owned, but the woman wants to be owned. That's why she wants to give up her last name and take yours. Yeah, so she wants to be owned. So, within the voluntary agreement of it, yeah, a man is capable of owning however many women he could get to agree to it. That's the level of game. But then are you transparent? Like, do the girls know that you're seeing 3 other girls? Okay, well then that it is probably in their desires, and it's just a different level.
That's it. Like, I think that is part of the attraction.
Well, of course, because it's safer. A man that has other women understands women better and will understand her more. We get out of reality sometimes because we're in our own like relationship dynamics that other guys are really bad, really bad. Like the weird shit that they do and say and their presuppositions and expectations and things like it's really, really bad out there for girls. So when she finds someone that's above average, let alone someone that other women are trusting to be with, then yeah, she's very attracted and feels a lot safer with that. Depending, I mean, how transparent you are, if you're secretive or if the girls are nasty or whatever. Yeah, so of course it's natural sense. Now it takes a new level of responsibility to say that's my woman, and that responsibility is a more like if there was like a divine mother, that's like a divine father level of responsibility. Like that's my woman. That means don't come around my woman. That means if something happens, like I got you, woman. But then you'll get a new level of submissiveness from the woman also when you do that.
You don't put those words. I don't put those words. I don't directly state that. I mean, that's something that's
It's very polarizing. It's polarizing language. Like I said earlier in the stream, I don't know if you're on about, men and women are conditioned to think of each other as equal. So it's very polarizing. Some liberal type women will have a problem with what you're saying, but even some of them, because genetically they like it will convert them. That's how you convert a liberal is you don't talk politics with her, you seduce her. And then when she can't live without you, she'll take your beliefs. She doesn't even give a fuck about her beliefs. She'll change to be with you. But if you try to convince her, then you become a friend who's trying to convince her. Yeah, so it's just dominance, power, survival value, man. And it's not physical dominance. But like if she knew you had a team of 10 other guys who looked boss, who were dope, had their shit together, and they all had multiple women, and you were a gang and you had each other's back, then a new level of power brings a new level of submissiveness from the woman.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's all voluntary. Man, AZD's really hacked the code at high levels. Like it's hard for people who are just inventing the wheel or a bicycle or even a combustion engine or even an airplane. It's hard to conceive of what anti-gravity spacecraft is like. It's just a different physics. And he's been doing it for a long time, man. I'm telling you, it's dope, dope, dope. I would, if you send me a DM, brother, and just remind me of this talk, I'll send you something private of his that, it's free, whatever, YouTube, just something to see a different level. Because if you are at the level, and I believe you, it's just, I don't, there's only so much we can talk about on a public stream. I don't want to get into it. You may not even want to get into it. But uh, if taking at face value what you're saying, you're further along than a lot of guys. And then you're also going to have a lot of habits that just won't, you can't make a rocket ship ever get to light speed. You can't make chemical fuels do anti-gravity. It's just a different physics. You could go further, farther, faster, harder, burn it hotter, more fuel, more fuel. You just won't achieve that anti-gravity effect. It's a different physics. So you've won the game in many ways of that, mechanical stuff. And AZD offers a dimension jump to a different way of game. Oh yeah, it's hella interesting, bro. So I'll send you something. Just remind me. All right, brothers. Thank you everybody for attending. It was great having the participation. I'm about to go out with AZD to the biggest strip club in the world. Gonna tap in, probably take. I don't know if I want to take an ice bath. I do, I don't. It just makes me kind of stiff when I go out, but it feels so good. But I'm gonna hella tap in. And of course, if you want to get involved, imcbased1.com, free newsletter. It's right there, imcbased1.com. And then new daily classes coming out. It's only $47 a month. So DM me if you're interested in that. And that's probably enough pitches for right now. Salute everybody. Be the best. Fuck the rest. IMC Nation. Jay Grudev.